lot of viewers, a lot of DMs, right? Samantha's getting them all. There's a lot of people talking about the job market, right? So I think there was Jace, I'll come to you first because I know you've been reading about it. The World Economic Forum just released a study, right, about employment. And then there was also some recent forecasts that 300 million full-time jobs could be impacted. That doesn't necessarily mean cut, but impacted
Mm-hmm.
by AI, agentic workflows, automation. And so there's this major, we knew this was happening and will happen some more, this major economic shock and shift, this paradigm shift. So it's interesting. Leaders out there, executives, I know they're talking a lot about this, and then those that aren't in leadership or are looking, searching, or thinking about moving to something else, or trying to figure out what to learn so they can stay on top and stay relevant and valuable in the marketplace. This is a big topic. There's a lot going on here and a lot to come. But Jason, over to you on what's happening when we're talking about employment headcount
Yeah,
with
no,
this
this
technology.
this seems to be the number one topic that's top of mind for everyone as they start seeing the value that AI can have. Is how is it going to impact jobs? How is it going to impact people? Yesterday during the panel, that was about 5 questions. Was what do you think that the effects of the job market is going to be? And this VentureBeat article that was created has a ton of information. And Samantha, if you could please share that in the chat so people can see that. But what they're feeling is it's going to be a gradual type of arc, and then it's going to be it's going to be a big cuts. And they're saying 40% of employees are expected to be reduced between 2025 and 2030, which is a big number because of AI automating the tasks. And so, we've spoken about it. We each have our own opinions of what does that mean? Does that mean more people have the opportunities to be entrepreneurs? I'm also kind of thinking, going back to the golden age of the 40s and 50s, where it was just a single parent needed to work. Are we going to get to that type of point where we're going to have more time to spend with our families, because we're going to have so much abundance and we're going to have so much capabilities? Is that the way that this is going to impact us, that we're not going to need multifamily or multi people working in the house going forward?
Mm. Ooh, that's a touchy one because now I want to
Interesting.
talk about economics and tariffs and inflation. You're making me think. I'm like, man, how are we going to do this?
We cannot live on a single income.
Yeah, it's
Just because
tough.
AI is here, it's not the people that are going to benefit from it. The employers, the business owners will benefit from it.
Mm-hmm.
But just
That's
like
the total.
taxes
And by
versus
the
tariffs.
yeah,
Taxes versus tariffs.
I'm a
Do it.
capitalist, right? But a lot of this reminds me, and not to go too deep into it, right? We're talking AI here. We're not talking economics, although there's a blend. But it reminds me of the whole bourgeoisie, proletariat, or however you say it, the French word, right? It's the owners win and the workers lose, and then you create this gap. And can this technology, if we don't, if it outpaces our ability to reposition people, I mean, yeah, Nick, you're onto something. Jason, I hear what you're saying, right? It's just it's interesting what's going to go on here. This labor shift. We just got to think about it. Honestly, I think the way we really keep up with the tech and what it replaces and reposition the labor is we go and educate our kiddos. Colleges
Yep.
we need to educate differently. They got to
Yes.
get our kids, our students ready for what's coming, or else there's going to be the adoption. There's going to be too much of a gap, and people are going to struggle. They're going to hurt.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what I
no,
see.
we actually had on the panel one of the professors from TCU there, Dr. Renee, and that's one of the things. They are completely changing the curriculum to teaching the students to be more critical thinkers, and not specifically on how to use this tool, how to use Power BI or things like that, but how to solve problems. And that's where it was great to hear them thinking of like how they're going to start solving and how they need to rethink to prepare someone for the workforce, because a lot of these tasks that are necessary for finance, for accounting, are going to change. And they're already leaning forward, and they've got their core curriculum during the long months, but in the spring or in the summer and in the winter, they actually have these really specific topics in entrepreneurship and things like that where you'll be able to get more information and
I
be
love
more
that.
prepared for the market.
I love that. And it's funny, and I heard it again yesterday. I was on this mastermind call that I'm on. It's pretty cool group. But again, it was like this fear of not wanting to say replace. It was, well, augment, well, reposition, and and I don't think it needs to be one or the other. But I don't think you can say just augment and reposition. Positions will be replaced, right? You all know this behind the scenes. I'm working on something to replace, sorry, but replace controllers and me, fractional CFOs. That's what I'm working on because the tech is there. It's possible. But to your point, Jason and Nick, right? It's not just students, but those out in the workforce right now. How are you leaning into this and learning
They
it?
gotta be
Because
curious, man.
you got to stay curious, right? Yeah, you gotta know like
You know,
when
you
to
know what the
use.
problem. You know what the
Tell me.
problem is. The problem is that a lot of the generation that are in the workforce right now, right, the sort of that 30s range,
Right.
they came out of a parental generation that forced them to go to college simply to get a degree
Hmm.
because that's what their parents thought was best. And so now they're out there and they are lost. They are purposeless. They're doing jobs that they don't care about at all. And so there's no passion or drive to innovate and be creative. So they're probably going to get hit the hardest. The Gen was the Gen Zs, the
Right.
Gen Zs. I think that they're very innovative. They're very spirited. They're highly digital natives. So they may figure it out. But at the end of the day, if schools aren't doing the work, and I want to highlight, there is a school out in Austin called the Alpha School. They spend only 2 hours a day teaching. The rest of the day is spent teaching them life skills. I love that. We need to change the way we teach our kids and what we're teaching our kids. They are not going to need to know. I mean, I think it's important that they understand Texas history and the Alamo, right?
Yep.
But they don't need to spend an entire quarter learning about the Alamo. That's not going to be useful for them in the
Mm-mm.
future. It is important to it is important for us to keep the traditions and the lineage and history of Texas and for our children to know where we came from, but it's not important enough to spend an entire quarter on it. They need to be learning real life skills.
Mm.
So that's my take on. I'm really passionate about that stuff, man, because
Yeah, we got to help.
we're I mean a lot of, unfortunately, because of the inability to scale, we're looking at a 1 to 30 student to teacher ratio. Kids are not getting the individualized attention they need. We're making a product in the lab right now to
Mm.
help with this. It's called Soren.
Soren.
Anyway, yeah, Soren. Yeah, I'll tell you more about it next time. If you are interested, April 15th, I'm going to be building a business from scratch.
Ooh,
Yeah, along with the help of Jason's super one-shot prompt. We did this at SMU, and it was a hit.
love it.
And so we will build an entire business. We have people submitting left and right on our form.
I'm sure
Um,
Samantha, you probably have some college friends out there. Let's go. Let's pitch.
yeah, start pitching.
Start pitching.
Have them fill out the survey, and if you're interested, submit your business idea, and if we pick it, then I'll build it within an hour live in front of everybody.